Hey, this is Mark the Meerkat in for D7 with the Grok Spooky Stock Market Review for the week. Spooky because Monday is Halloween and the last day of the month. And what a month it has been. Hey, let's take a look quickly at the conditions that are on the market right now. We've got the S&P 500 been reporting out here. 49% of the stocks of the S&P 500 have reported. 70% of them have topped their views. Now, as far as the Dow, I think all but one, I think Disney is the other one to report out. I think everybody else has reported out at this point or close to it. And then we've got this week is going to be semiconductor week. 20 of the top semiconductor producers will be reporting this week. Interesting how that will be going. And then we've got the Fed meeting in the middle of the week, and on Wednesday they'll make a decision about interest rates. And again, 90-some% chance they're going to increase it another 75 basis points. So that would bring the base rate up to 3.75 to 4%. And what has that done to home mortgages? Well, the 30-year average now is, 30-year mortgage average is 7%. That's right. It's double what it was just about 6 to 8 months ago. Now then, so we're going to take a look here at the charts. First of all, the daily charts on the top markets, then the weekly charts, and because there's only one more trading month in October, we're going to take a look at the monthly chart and see what are the charts telling us about what's happening in the market. And yeah, Friday was a big boom day. Let's take a look here at, first of all, the S&P 500 with the SPY ETF on that, and look at that. Boom, 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 and we've finally, look at this. For the last few days, it was sitting here just up below that 50 moving average on the daily chart. Boom, it broke out here at 2.38% on the day, and so we end up with a very bullish week here. Even though it pulled back for a couple of days, it would end up with a nice bullish week. How about the Dow Jones Industrial Average? Kaboom! Now this one has really been on fire. When we get to the monthly chart, it has this interesting fact about that, about the monthly chart on the Dow particularly. But take a look here, it broke out, and now it's above the 200 moving average, folks, and now it's right up into this tight range it was in here for over 6 months, and now it's right up into this area again of its major support and resistance area right here. We'll see if it blows through that or not. Then we got the Qs. Now the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ, the ETF on the NASDAQ. Now again, we take a look here. What happened here, again, is most of the markets here on this date right here, October 13th, we had this, I say it was capitulation, and it has followed through. Why? Because you get a huge down thrust and with a huge volume day, and it has been retreating back up ever since. Now, because of earnings, in particular in the tech area here, we've had hit and miss. We had some that have just blown right through it, and others that have just fallen on their face. So it depends on which one it was, and we'll review the FANG stocks of past. Used to be called FANG, now they're going to be called something else. Watch, and so we'll see what happened there. But again, up for the week. Again, Friday was a nice big up day. Apple leading the way on those tech stocks. So let's take a look here now at the small cap Russell, the IWM, which is the ETF on the small cap Russell, and sure enough, it too had that big down day here, big capitulation day, and it's been running up, and boom, boom, boom. It's staying above its 50 moving average and its 100 moving average. Now there were a couple of hints here. I'm going to go back here. The SPY. There were some hints that we may be the end of the downtrend here. For those from a mentoring program know how we use the MACD down here. Look at the MACD. We're getting lower swing lows, but we're getting higher swing lows here. So that's a divergence there, and sure enough, the market did turn around. DIA, same thing. It had a swing low here, and then another swing low, and getting higher swing lows. And then it really was evident here on the NASDAQ. We had a swing low here, we had a swing low here, but we're getting higher swing lows on the MACD. That's what it's telling us is we may be the end of the trend. In this case, the end of the downtrend. And sure enough, we're starting to move upward. We have two higher swing highs, and we have one higher swing low. We may be forming another swing low here. We need another candle to confirm that. We may be in an uptrend now, and that would be on most of the markets, especially the NASDAQ there, and same thing was happening over here. So no, it was not on the small cap Russell. I take that back. It did not have that divergence going on. but it is also turning around even sharper than the other markets. All right, let's take a look here now at the take a look at the weekly charts. And again, starting with the S&P 500, we look at that. We finished just about at the high of the month, right at the 20-week moving average. Possible resistance line, possible resistance there. But look at it, that 200 moving average held down here for 1, 2, 3 weeks, and now we bounced off of that support area on the weekly chart. On the Dow Jones Industrial here, it was below the 200, but it is now blown right through all of that and is recovered. Now it's approaching the 50 and the 100 week moving averages on there. And then we've got the Nasdaq. Nasdaq has been struggling a little bit more. It did come down here, and it did tag this. This is a line going way back a couple of years, so it's extended out. It tagged this support line, and then it's been back up on the weekly chart, and now back above the 200. That's good. Again, we were positive for the week. And then we've got the small cap Russell here. It was low basing here on its lows from back here in June. It was low basing here for the last few weeks, and now boom, blew up all this whole bundle of moving averages. Now they still have some resistance to go here. All right, let's go to the monthly charts. Again, we have just one trading day left in the month in October, and that would be on Monday. But let's take a look at the monthly charts here. And I applied the Fibonacci here because I want you to notice here. This is monthly, so look at it. Ran, fall, and now we've got. Look at this. This is the 50 50% Fibonacci retracement. Look at it. It tagged it earlier this month and then proceeded to go all the way back up here, finishing right at the highs. Again, we have one more day, and we're right at this resistance line here. We'll have to see, and unless the market, ends up dropping 10% on Monday, which is possible, because anything is possible. But not very likely. We ought to finish very bullish for the month here on the S&P 500. Now here's the Dow. This is an interesting one. Look at that candle. Look at the recovery on that candle. Back above all these lines of support and resistance, and it just blew right through that. In fact, this was the biggest month for the Dow Jones Industrial Average in the history of October. It's the biggest month of October. The biggest month of October in the history of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, percentage-wise. So, yeah, it was a very strong comeback after being in a down leg here for quite a while. So, are we out of the woods yet? I don't know. If this is just a bounce and we're going to roll back down, don't know. And now we had a little bit more of a struggle here on the Nasdaq, and again, these earnings are pouring out. Some of them are hit and some of them are huge misses. And you've got Meta, aka Facebook, it dropped 25% in one day, lost 1/4 of its value because of its earnings. So yeah, there's some trouble in town. But then again, you have Apple, who popped 7% on their earnings. It's very, very hit and miss right now. But what happened on this one, on the monthly chart, it came right down here to this 50-month moving average. Stopped on that one at the end of last month, and now we are coming back up here on the Nasdaq. So we are starting to recover here. We'll see if there's more follow through here in November and December. Then the small cap Russell here on the monthly cap, it's been low basing. It's kind of doing almost a barber pole thing here, except for this 1 month where it popped up. But now it's starting to recover back above this line of support and resistance, going back here to 2014, and we keep working our way up from there. Alrighty, so that's it on the monthly charts. So before we go on here to what's going on in the other markets, how is your trading going? Would you like to learn to trade the Grok trade way? Well, we do have our mentoring program, and what that mentoring program consists of, two major parts. One part is a 3-day intense training, so you have the proper information to make educated trading decisions, A, and then B is for the rest of your trading life, we're there to mentor you and support you in applying that new knowledge that you have as you build your trading system, and that as you live it out in a successful, consistent way. Now, our mentoring program, if you want to know more about that, there's a quick and easy way to do that. You can go to groktrade.com, and right up here it says Training Mentor. Now, before we'd make a phone call with you, spend a couple hours on the phone walking through it and everything else. Here it's firing up here right now. And then on this one right here, what we do is it's a whole series. It's a metrics of different 2-minute videos. And what it is ask you a question, like, what kind of a trader are you? Are you a day trader? Are you a swing trader? Are you a longer term position trader? And whatever, depending on what you answer there, it will then go to a different video and answer some questions there, and then ask you another question at the end of that video. And then, so you will walk through this matrix for the information that you need about your trading. At the end of that, then, once you've decided if you may want to take a look at what our mentoring program could offer for you, then we'll have a phone call with you just to discuss it, and just fill out the form. We'll give you a call and see if our training opportunity is going to be right for you. Now, again, we start with 3 days of intense training, which you can take as many times as you want after that, because it's so dense and concise. And then we'll help you apply it from that point forward. So if you want to talk about that, go to groktrade.com and go ahead and walk through the mentoring videos. All right, now let's go to the FANG stocks. Now, it used to be FANG, F-A-A-N-G, plus Microsoft. Well, now I like to call it the MAN stocks, the M-M-A-A-A-N, MAN, or if you prefer, we can call it the NAM, N-A-A-A-A-M-M stocks. So anyway, because what? The people change their names, right? So let's take a look at those. The first one then on the MAM stocks would be Meta, as in the first M. And what happened to them? Oh my goodness gracious. Look what happened to them on earnings. Kabam! Lost 25% of their value. 25% of their value. Wow. Yeah, not so good, right? So yeah, it's been in a free fall down here, and then now their earnings did not turn out so well. So that is on MAM, Meta. Next we have Microsoft. They had earnings back here on Wednesday. They were up here, they dropped, and then they started to come back here now. So there was a drop here on, again, these tech stocks. There's hit and miss there. Friday, Apple, or Thursday night, Apple had their earnings, and kaboom, up 7% on Friday alone. So they're again, down here was their capitulation. They've been moving the way back up here in the 155 area is where they have now closed, just below their 200 moving average. Now the next A would be Amazon. It reported, and bam, it dropped 7%. Okay, now interesting, I do own both Apple and Amazon for transparency purposes in my long-term investment account, not trading account, investment account. But it's interesting, one went up 7%, the other one dropped 7%, or thereabouts, right? So that's just interesting how sometimes things just balance themselves out. But then we got the next A, which is Alphabet, aka Google. Here we are, we got Google, and it too, major drop here. Major drop from 104 to 92, big drop there. Started to recover here on Thursday and Friday, and then we've got and then the N, Netflix, and we got Netflix here working its way up here, and it had earnings here, but they had a huge drop back here, and then it's just kind of going along, and then kaboom on earnings this time, because their subscriptions are starting to recover. So it's starting to recover prior to the other ones from their earnings a week or so ago. And then, of course, we can always throw in Tesla, right? It's not part of those FANG stocks, but it's still down here near its bottoms down here that it was having back here in June. It's starting to recover off of there. It had earnings, but it dropped a little bit right down to those lows, trying to work its way back up. So this is Mark the Meerkat. Hey, just remember what Vladimir, one of our Rockstar traders, said the other day. He said, "It always surprised me how the market could react the opposite of what I think it will. But finally, I don't listen to the news anymore. I just look at the charts." Trade well, and may your winners